Hello, I'm Bill Peterson, Minnesota estate planning attorney. Today we'd like to look at what happens for a senior citizen who wants to protect her estate after a new marriage. Now, Elizabeth is an older woman. Her husband Albert died 5 years ago. Now, Elizabeth was very lonely until she met Ronald, whose wife Audrey had died 3 years ago. Now, Elizabeth and Ronald are thinking about getting married. They are unsure about whether their respective pensions and retirement benefits will be increased or reduced due to the marriage. More importantly, Elizabeth is especially concerned that her 3 adult children, which she had with her deceased husband Albert, she wants to make sure that they won't be left out of her estate after her death. Now, if Elizabeth does no estate planning, then under Minnesota law, Ronald will generally get most of her estate if he outlives her. This can be particularly upsetting to Elizabeth's children, because if Ronald dies, for example, a few years after Elizabeth, then Ronald's and Audrey's children will get most or all of the estate that Elizabeth and Albert had built up. There are several alternative estate planning steps that can be taken. First of all, Elizabeth and Ronald could sign a pre-marriage agreement prior to their marriage. They can specify that Elizabeth's children will get her assets and Ronald's children will get his assets. Premarital agreements require some planning, so they should be completed sometime in advance of the wedding. The law requires that there be full disclosure of all assets and that both parties are treated fairly in the agreement process. Usually, it's a good idea for each of them to have their own attorney before the agreement is signed. For seniors with children from a previous marriage, our office almost always recommends a premarital agreement. Now, another possibility is for Elizabeth to have her own attorney prepare a trust. Now, a trust is a separate legal entity. It needs a trustee who will be administering it, and the accounts, personal property, or real estate that is placed into the trust. The trust can provide for reasonable support for Ronald, for example, during his lifetime, with the balance going to Elizabeth's children after both their deaths. A well-drafted estate plan can make the golden years even brighter for the senior and his or her family. I'm Bill Peterson, Minnesota estate planning attorney. If you or your parent is considering a marriage while they're a senior, it's important to review the estate plan to ensure your legacy. Call me today at 952-921-5818 for a free, no-obligation consultation. Thanks, and have a great day.